All right, so we got World War Polo in the building.
Yeah,
Thank you for coming through, man. I really appreciate it, man.
I
Much love.
appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you.
Absolutely. So, like, we got to get started. So, talk a little bit about, where you from originally and, like, your background and everything.
I'm originally from DC, Northeast DC. I went to all three schools in DC. Elementary, I went to Smothers. I went to Kelly Miller. I went to H.D. Wilson. So I'm really from DC. I'm from Northeast. Um, I'm from a hard part of life, and when DC was Chocolate City, when it was the murder capital, when Marion Barry was still here, when the crack epidemic. I'm from that era.
So, how did, being from that era, how do you feel like it, like, shaped your, worldview and just, like, view on life in general?
Um, for a long period of time in my life, I really didn't get a chance to interact with any other ethnic group outside of black people. So as the world started to open up and I started to kind of advance a little bit in life, it has been, and sometimes it is a little bit shaky to come outside of the box of trying to understand other people's way of how they view life that's a little different than my natural upbringing and everything like that. But life was rough, but it was love, and we learned how to live through it, and we learned how to accept it. We learned how to adapt in it, and we learned how to love it. So even though it was a rough environment, we didn't really view it as rough outside of when people told us it was rough. It was just like some of the more dangerous places when we look back was probably some of the most funnest places.
So, how did, like, your upbringing and your background, how did that translate to, your love for, film and being involved in film work?
So when you're young, you take and you destroy. You be part of the destructive mechanism, you don't choose it. It kind of choose you, and you're surviving in this life. Kind of, you have to adapt to being able to be destructive. And with God, well, I'm a Muslim, so with Allah allowing me to grow up and to get past a lot of the obstacles that a lot of my peers didn't get a chance to get out of, either being locked up forever or being murdered, right? I realized that at a certain point in life, I wanted to start helping. And I originally wanted to write books. I was a late bloomer when it came to reading. I didn't really start reading until I was about 20, right? So reading was like a real passion of mine and a real love, even to the day. That's like my favorite pastime, right? So I wanted to write books because I'm really motivated by how books inspire my thinking to change, right? But people don't read books no more. And the people that do read books, they're not the people that I actually want to reach, like older people, people that's locked up. I want to reach the younger people. They don't take the time out to read books. So I felt like it would probably be better if I took the books that I read and I like to read, and my understanding of life and how my viewpoints of how I think I can help, if I just start putting it in movies where I just do all the homework for you and then I just lay out a version of my interpretation of a collaboration of the books and stuff that I read to give an outlook of ways out of that we didn't have. We didn't have a lot of options. You know, it was this way or it was no way. We didn't have people that would stand up and fight and say, nah, it's cool to, do things the right way, or, to walk away, or to, just do things the right way. We didn't have a whole lot of that outside of like older people who we didn't deem as cool enough to listen to, right? So being that I still have, a lot of young dudes who look up to me or follow me or see me as an older brother, then I have a story that I want to tell, and I want to reach the youth while I can. So given these movies, it's like an outlet to teach, to showing them and things of that nature, and to get them really involved. I involve them in the movies. Like, so I take people that wouldn't normally go out above and beyond to want to be actors and be seen on the big screen, and I bring them into what I'm doing, and then it helps the people around, to get more involved, far as in the community, things of that nature. So it's like my way of giving back.
So were there like certain films that you like study to kind of like give you kind of an idea of how you want your films to look like, or were you just kind of like had your own kind of ideas that you wanted to implement into your films?
So I like Spike Lee and I like Ty Perry, but I like them for two different things. I like Ty Perry for his hustle, from coming from nothing and not letting nothing stop him. I love that about him. And I like the way Spike Lee, he just cool, and the way he do things, and he makes it easier for like a person like myself to feel like I could step in his shoes. Like I feel like I'm from where he's from, even though we from two different places. So I kind of understand him a little more, right? So I kind of mimic a lot of my moves, as far as how I like produce and direct by Spike Lee, having the same people. A lot of time, like Martin, all of them came through Spike Lee. So like the people that I know that's hard working and things of that nature, I just like to keep them around and things of that. So I think, yeah, like Spike Lee and Ty Perry, they kind of influenced a lot of my thinking as far as how to produce and direct. But reading a lot of books and getting my own understanding of how I think life should be as a black man that's still in the black community. So I'm not a goody goody. Like I'm not gonna sit down and I'm not gonna shut up. Like I'll listen to you out of respect. I'll give you eye contact, and I'll even listen with an open mind because I wanna be upon correctness. But I'm not gonna sit down. I'm not gonna shut up because sitting down and shutting up didn't get me here, right? So what I believe that can help a lot of the young dudes, that's what I push. And sometimes it's a bit of a stream of my stories, but my stories ain't for everybody. It's for select groups of people, like I say. And if you can enjoy it from the outside looking in, it's cool. But my stories is for the people who don't really have a voice, and we look down on them, and we belittle them, and they not good enough to get in a conversation. That's that's who my story's for.
So kind of like touching on Tyler Perry, you mentioned him. I saw in like one of your interviews, you said how you like the way Tyler Perry like weaves Christianity into his films, and with you, being Muslim, is that weaving like different types of like or different forms of Islam into your films? Is that something that you like to do with your
First and
films?
foremost, I want to say I'm honored that you even, because I'm like, also, he even really did his homework. All right, so because I'm Muslim, I think that, and this is not no disrespect to no other religion or anything like that, but I'm Muslim. So I think that the way that we gonna be able to help each other is by relying on a higher power. And whatever your higher power is, that's cool. But my higher power is Allah, right? So the same way that Ty Perry and all his movie, he has like the movie don't be a Christian movie, but it has the taste and the essence of the Christianity, and I really enjoy that part about him, and I didn't stole that. That's mine now. That I do that, and I'll give him a shout out forever for that. That he made religion cool, like he made it dope. You know what I'm saying? So like in all my movies, it's gonna be a hint of religion. I'm not gonna water it down, but I'm not gonna drown you in it. But if it's gonna be a storyline of that, it's gonna be a storyline of somebody that went wrong. It's gonna be a storyline of somebody that just went all the way right. Then it's somebody who found God and they weighed it out, and when they weighed it out, maybe they went the wrong way, and then somebody else that weighed it out and they went the right way, and then you could choose in that movie who you would want to mimic your life behind, because we mimic ourselves behind these movies. Like when we watch Scarface in the 80s, even to this day, a lot of us still have that Scarface mentality. So movies are powerful. We sway the thinking of the people who take the time out to watch our movies. So it's real important that you give positive messages and negative messages too, right? Because that's how you get them to come. But you gotta balance it out so that the people can eat. Make it like a gumbo. It can't be just one-sided. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of movies that we was forced to make, I think the producers in the 90s and the early 2000s, that they was forced to make, they was one-sided. They only showed the poverty. They only showed the destruction. They didn't show the way out. And then when they did show the way out, they made it goofy. They made it like something frowned upon. But coming from that real life, and I understand what it really feels to be standing beside somebody right now, and in a couple of hours from now, they not here. Like I really know how that feel. Like I know how pain really feel. Like I, I know how pain feels so much to the point you look forward to it and you embrace it, and you don't feel comfortable when you don't feel it. Like you feel like everything gonna go wrong when you've been introduced to love and things of that nature. It's like it's not your thing, right? It's like where the pain at. Like I adapt to that. So this is what probably make people kind of flock to my stories, because it's other people that kind of think the way I think, or how I used to think, or how I want. And I want to kind of change that kind of way of thinking, that, it's other ways out than what they try to show us. And as a person that I feel like I made it out more or less, I want to throw the ladder back. And I'm not afraid to, or whatever comes with that.
So you know how like with, especially like in the '90s, you had the movies that would like talk about like black life, in urban communities, like Boys in the Hood, Menace to Society, all those movies. For a lot of people, they always said that they told the story, but the majority of it was always in a negative light. Like it
Right.
only showed the bad times in the hood. It never showed anything positive. Do you feel like with your movies, you kind of want to again be when you want to show reality, like bad things and bad times do happen in the hood, but it's also like good times and great things that happen in our communities as well. Do you feel like that's something that you want to do in your films?
I want to depict reality in real time. Like what I don't want to do is I don't want to get caught up on the past, and I don't want to get caught up in too much in the future. Like, cause if I paint a picture of the past, then we basically running around in circles chasing our tail, right? It's like it don't fit what's going on now, right? Like too many slavery movies and stuff like that. I'm not really with that, right? Because why we need to know more about it? Like how is it helping us? Like at this point, you're using it as a belt to put us in our place without putting us in our place. Because it was all kind of wars that took place in slavery that y'all don't show us. Like Armistead, when they was on that boat and they was really getting busy. Like why y'all don't show us that? Why y'all don't show us the other side? Because everybody didn't just bow down. A lot of us fought back way more than they would like to talk about. So it's a one-sided story. So if y'all not gonna talk all the way about it, if y'all not gonna give us the whole picture, y'all gonna make us feel like we just gotta sit down and lay down, and that wasn't the complete truth, then why talk about it at all, right? Like you're using it to manipulate us and to no. So I'm not really with that. And then too far in the future, I don't want to talk about stuff like that too much right now, because people are scared to work hard, and it's a deterrent. Because if you see too far in the future, it's like we not we're going to get scared of now, the now. Like it's gonna seem like we can't do it, and it's like it's a deterrent. It's not allowing us. A lot of us is not gonna believe that we can. We're gonna self-sabotage, right? So me, I like to keep my movies more modernized of what's going on today and how watching this movie, how it can help you today. Like, cause like you're not living in the past, you're not living in the future. You struggling in poverty today. You walk outside, they selling drugs in front of your house today. Next year they might not be selling drugs in front of your house. So I don't want to tell that story no more. I want to tell like now they not selling drugs. This is you know what I'm trying to say, and you can have those kind of movies too. But I think that's what keeps me relevant, what keeps me ahead of the curve, is I can depict what tomorrow looks like instead of next week. Instead of throwing next week in your face, if we make it through this night, the sun gonna come up, right? Well, this how tomorrow should look. Tomorrow way more something that you want to grasp onto, because we gonna make it through the night, right? All right, so if we gonna make it through the night, then tomorrow gonna come. This how it should look. But you want to give me 7 tomorrows from today, and it's like, dang, tomorrow seem hard. Like, how are we gonna make it all the way right there? I don't. That's just not my style right now. And I would like to get into that, but the minds of the people gotta change. And until that happens, it's more better just to stir the pot, how the pot need to be stirred.
What were some of the early films that you worked on in your career?
Um, my first movie was Yama Kiyama. It's about the last day on the earth. The last the last day I'm a Muslim, so I have a belief system that I kind of understand how the last day gonna look. And so in the movie, it's contemporary, so it's modernized. So, but it's a lot of signs and symbols. So if you sitting there, you paying attention, and if you're a person that know your Bible, you know your Quran, it's gonna be like, oh snap, you heard what he said. But if you don't, then it's just like it's a nice little movie to watch. But it's a lot of signs and symbols, and I really feel like I was gonna be successful, and I am going to be successful, very successful, like something real big and that's talked about. So I didn't want to stop with gangster movies. Like I wanted to have something that I could say that I started this movie. It didn't get a lot of views. So when I'm doing these movies that's getting millions of views, but it's killing and things of that nature, don't complain, because I gave you something and y'all didn't want, where you say, oh, why you doing it, this, do we need more destruction? You know what I'm saying? And then after that, I did a web series that had a whole lot of editing flaws called Washington Bullet. It's like 6, 7, 8 episodes. It's dope. Nice storyline, a lot of editing problems. But through them editing problems, firsthand, we got the recipe of what to do and what not to do. And so then I did Kings of DC. Kings of DC was a movie. I like the movie Kings of New York. So I feel as though we needed a Kings of DC. And for the most part, I took all the people that was relevant or up and coming, like rappers and comedians, everybody that was up and coming at that time, involved them in a movie. And to me, that was my version of Kings of DC, because these are the Kings of DC, right? And in that movie had like overkill. It said like every 5 minutes somebody died for 2 hours, like to the point where it was like it's just too much killing. It's just like one more person that like to the point where people were saying that anybody live in this movie, and that was my point because I'm an artist. Like it's too much killing. Like see when you sit down and you watch it, and you want to be entertained by it. Well, let me entertain you. This is a reality I see every day. I know somebody that knows somebody, or I know somebody that got killed or something bad happened to them. And my reality is I gotta shake it off and I gotta go to work and I gotta live my life. And this is supposed to be the life that we live, that we supposed to live. And so, are you entertained by seeing it? You sitting there 2 hours. You like to see aggressive stuff. Like, all right, with if you see it every 5 minutes, and then turn around right when something good happens, that person get killed. Then a little girl walk down the street with her mother, she get killed. It's people for no reason getting killed. And it's like, dang, why so many people getting killed? That's what I was trying to say too, right? And then I watered it down after that. I did a movie called The Lie because I own a tow company. So I felt like I wanted to give humor to what I was doing as far as my company because everybody hate tow companies, right? So I wanted them to see like an inside kind of point of view of like, you know, a person that used to be in the streets, now you doing something legal, you gonna hate me regardless of whatever I do. Like I'm evil for towing your car, but I pay taxes. But if I sell you drugs and shoot my guns, you love me. It feel like Judas and Jesus. It's like now y'all choose Judas over Jesus in every aspect. That's crazy. And then I did the kickback. I teamed up with Goofy, and we did the kickback. That's like a DMV kind of kid and play kind of house party joint. And right now I'm on the New Balance Boys movie. This is gonna be super dope. It's for the culture. It's aggressive in tone, but it has a nice storyline. Um, it has it's very contemporary. It's what's going on today, and it's very rich in culture. It's very rich in the style, and it's gonna be dope. I don't want to get too much away. And I got a love story called Black Honey I'm gonna do, and I got the Marion Barry biopic already written.
How so speaking on, Marion Barry, with the whole controversy with the, not and pizza thing,
Mm.
how important is it, to keep his legacy alive and to, keep I know you said, you talked about how we don't want to keep repeating the same type of films, but with something like Marion Barry, telling his story, especially in DC, is vital. Like, how important is it for you to keep his
I
legacy
don't
alive?
think that telling Marion Barry's story is a repeat because I don't think that nobody told his story. Like, um, I think that we need to protect our leaders, and I believe that there's a bigger picture and there's a smaller picture, and we can pay attention to the small things, or we could pay attention to the big things. And the movie that I wrote is 95%, 90, 99% accurate of his life. I really took time and studied his life in the time um, and put everything in its proper time. And it was really, um, I really detested doing it the whole time, but I just feel like this is something that needs to be done. I did not enjoy it at all, not one
Why not?
moment, because it's not like a novel. It's not like telling my story. Like I can change and alter the way that the movie ends when I'm telling the story. Like I can make it be what I want it to be, but you can't do that with somebody's real life. In '88, you did this. In '89, you did this, and so forth and so on. But like I said, it's 99% accurate. That 1% that is not accurate is that when he was smoking crack, that I'm not gonna have him smoking crack in my movie. Like I don't feel like that's relevant. If you want to know if he's smoking crack, you do your own research. He was smoking weed in my movie, and I don't feel like nothing wrong with that because everybody else protect their leaders, right? If you want to know that he was doing anything other than weed, go research it for yourself because I'm not telling that story, you know, and that's how I feel. But everything else is the truth. Like he did too much for us as a people, us for people here in Washington D.C. to ponder on the one little thing that people can't get over. So that's what makes it not 100% because in my movie I'm not going to belittle him like that because he meant way more to the city, to me as a black man that grew up in the city. Like I started indulging in crime at a young age, and it was directly them summer job checks that didn't really stop me, but definitely slowed me down a lot. So I really appreciate him. He was like a father to the fatherless. So um, I have nothing but respect. And when I tell a story, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be massive, it's gonna be controversial because I'm gonna tell a story that the real story. Like a lot of people don't even know he got shot in a government building. Like, and we here and we don't know that, right? So I'm gonna tell the story, and it's gonna be dope. But I'm not gonna disrespect his legacy by going further than what I need to get the point across.
Do you feel like, kind of touching back on, you being a Muslim, do you feel a certain responsibility to portray your religion in a certain way in films?
Mm, I think that I'm just it's not I'm a Muslim. This is not my religion. This is Allah religion. It's not my job to protect his religion. God can protect his own religion. I'm just here to display what I know. You could think it's right or you could think it's wrong. That's not for me to decide. It's not my job to make anybody do anything. So I'm not gonna make it look too good or too bad. I'm just gonna tell it how it is. God can protect his own religion. This not my religion, this his. So I don't feel like a extra added responsibility that I have to go above and beyond to make it more sugary than what it is. I just need to display it because at the end of the day, we all know people that go to jail, and jail is where you find us as at our worst state, right? We not in our best state. We go there and we not in our best state, right? And we go there and we in our worst state we find God. And majority people find Islam when they are in their worst state and they come home and they be productive citizens. I don't have to display because we all know Muslims. We all know somebody that's a Muslim and we know how they was before they was Muslim. So that right there is a testimony in itself. I'm just here to to share my story and my viewpoint, but I'm not really trying to sugarcoat nothing or make it better than what it is. Cause like as a Muslim, I love Christians. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say they are brothers. Whether they like us not, or Jews like us or not, that's not really my job or my business to even care. I like you. Now, I might can't be who I want to be with you if you're not gonna respect me the same, but I'm not gonna not like you because that's my job to kind of big brother you, to protect you, and to stay out the way if I'm in your way, but help you every way I could.
You talked a little bit earlier, you said most people find Islam when they're kind of at their lowest point. Like we saw, like with Malcolm X, especially, like he was in prison,
Right?
and that's when he, found, the Nation of Islam. Is that kind of something that happened with you?
I was born, I was raised Muslim, right? I was Muslim when it wasn't cool to be Muslim. I was Muslim when I was the only one that I knew that was Muslim, like then. But I don't feel like jail is like the worst thing. I think jail is a turning point. If you look at Malcolm X, for an example, when he was 18, 19 years old, even in his early 20s, he wasn't a person that you would mimic your life behind. But if you're allowed to live, to experience life, you them same things that used to be like evil, right? When it's time for you to adjust to life in real life, you're gonna change. You're gonna be like, nah. And who is better to talk to the people but a person that's from the people? Like I could tell you that shooting guns is wrong, cause I used to shoot guns. Like you can't discredit me for that. Like if you want to get to my age, this the road you gotta take. That ain't it, bro. Like I'm not a square. I'm not weird. Like I'm just telling you, you can do what you want to do. It don't matter to me. But you can't say you didn't know. See, that's my job. I just want to make sure that you can't say I didn't know. Long as you was warned, and long as you was, then I did my job. Cause like a lot of us in my age category, we didn't we didn't know. It was a generation gap. It was like a lot of our older brothers and fathers, they was either dead or locked up. So it's when you got closer to 30, you thought you was just gonna fall off the map. It's like, what happened when you get to 30? It's like, oh, when you turn 30, it's like you just start self-sabotaging because you just thinking like life is gonna just fall off the map because you don't see no 30, 40-year-old guys that you deem is cool that is doing anything. You know what I'm saying? So like But the dudes that's behind us, they have role models. They have people that's 30 and 40 years old that they can kind of mimic or not mimic. They have that. We didn't have that. So yeah,
Do you feel like with your films, do you always try to incorporate DC culture in your films?
it's DC or nothing right now with me because it's not no sense in me trying to reach out, trying to help no other people when my people need me. Like, I understand my people because I'm here and I'm still here and I'm around and I'm in the middle of, and I see that we are building and we growing. I got a strong team of all young dudes that's really got their head on straight. So like, um, DC is in a different place. It's like it's a lot of young dudes that really got their mind in the right place. Like they'll paint this picture that DC is just so rough and tough and rah rah, but this is a very small group of dudes that still trying to live that life for the most part. The young dudes, and I be everywhere, the young dudes for the most part is not with it. But who telling that story? Because if you listen to social media, you listen to like you going the analytics, whatever that is, they only show the negativity again. Like when what's going on, when you got a lot of young dudes that's out here leading protests. Like I'm talking about real life leading them. Like I really know some young dudes that's like young that be protesting and really be man fighting for different causes. It's like they don't get that much shine. So it's like who gonna tell them that story? You know what I'm saying? Instead of focusing on the negative, because that's the past to me. That's not where we're going no more. That's not even where we at for the most part. A lot of these young dudes got jobs, and some of them just lost, and they have parents who's gonna help them. We didn't really have the same kind of help. No disrespect to like well, we didn't have what they have, right? So the story that need to be told these days is a little different. And so that's the stories that I'm trying to focus on, not putting young dudes in a place where they feel like they need to be a gangster to be cool or dope, because that's not where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like I just don't feel like that's where we at as a people here anymore. I think we outgrown that.
With you being in the film industry, how important is it? How important is networking and like collaborating with others?
That's the whole thing. That's the that's the pot of gold right there. Like I think like the rap thing is dead, and this is my opinion. Unless you're gonna start rapping about different stuff, but the rap as we know it is dead.
Like
Like
what do you mean by that?
that kill, the real negative. Like, and I have a theory of why it doesn't work, and because the two, I'm not gonna say their name, it's on camera and stuff, but the ones who are really pushing it, they locked up right now. So I just think that it's the whole format of the setup is dead. It's just it doesn't have like a positive outlet. So with the movie thing and being one of the pioneers of the movie game in this area is I feel like in the next few years or so it's gonna be a big flock of people running to film, right? That's what I believe because they're gonna see the success in it and they're gonna see the money in it. And everybody got nice stories. And some of these young dudes real talented, so they know how to work cameras. They was doing videos and stuff like. So it's gonna be real easy for the transformation. But as one of the pioneers that's over here, I always like to try to network with everybody because we don't want to bring that negative stuff over here. Like we help each other over here. We not in competition over here. Like if you need me, I'll tell you exactly how to do it, the format, how to get it in the movie theaters. I do all that. And if I have to, I'll go in there with you and talk for you or with you or whatever. That's how much I want you to win. Because you making a film ain't stopping me from making a film. You winning have nothing to do with me if I start losing, right? So coming over on this side, I want everybody to know that what has to happen over here is we gotta look out for each other and we gotta help each other, and that has to become the norm. Like, and if you not with that, then we gonna leave you alone. We gonna shun you because we don't want that over here. Like, you can jump from this movie to that movie to my movie, and it shouldn't be a problem. You can use my cameraman, I can use your cameraman. It shouldn't be a problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to learn how to work together because that's the only way we're gonna make it out of this is together. You know what I'm saying? And so like that's kind of like the format of how I do things. And a lot of the younger guys that's doing films and stuff, when I approach them about the movie stuff, they be thinking I'm gonna be dunking on them, but then I be showing them like, nah, bro, let me give you the number. Let me call my distribution company. That joint dope, you know what I'm saying? You feel me? And they be just like, dang, for real, like that. Yeah, that's how we work over here, bro. This how it works over here. Like all that, you know, you gotta be better than me and all that. That's cool. That's dope. You should be better than me, but that ain't. It don't have to work like we can't work together. You know what I'm saying? Like we don't want to do that. Let's just let's just work together and try to make it do what it do. Cause anybody that can finish a movie, I tip my hat off to them. Cause there's too many moving parts to get it done. And if you can get a movie done, you can do anything in this world. I literally believe that.
And kind of touching on that, you know, from experience, like what would you say are some of the challenges that go into like creating an entire movie and putting it out?
Man, so first and foremost, you gotta sit down and write the story. You gotta literally take out time by yourself. You know how crazy it is to write a movie, bro. You gotta be kind of like bipolar. Like the man said, go across the street, and then the girl said, nah, I ain't going nowhere. And then the lady came across the street, and she said, why don't y'all sit down? That's three people talking in your head right now. You just sitting there, and you like, man, I'm not crazy, but I'm writing this stuff, right? All right, cool. So you get past that part, and then I think the biggest part that if you can get past, then it's all downhill, is picking the right people to work with so that the process that y'all start, y'all actually finish. Because the problem is a lot of egos a lot of time, and people of different levels of talent feel like, sometimes that they should get a little bit more attention, this, that, and the other, than the people who don't. But we all are moving parts to making this work. And me, I have a team, and my team is getting bigger and stronger. But what I do is I'm not like, it's not like just my voice alone. Like we working together where we have it something solid. So if I bring on a new writer or I bring in somebody else and they don't work, they don't fit, we all can't agree that this person, should fit. Then I would, let them know that their service is no longer necessary, because not that we can't work together, but just not on this project, because the chemistry got to stay what it is. And that's like the hardest part, to find like-minded individuals that is willing to work with each other without going to war with each other. Because the movie game is a lot of people, like a lot of people. It's like a lot. It's like a lot of people. And the thing about it is when you get the movie actually done and you get it on these platforms, um, they don't really look at you as a person or a skin color or a type. They look at your numbers. And if your numbers can produce numbers, then they reach out to you. And to me, that's just like super dope to understand that we have a big platform and a big foot in the game if we can finish doing, because we got what the world wants. I tell my team that we the capital of the world, because like the United States run the world, and DC the capital of the United States. So we run the world. Like we have the bigger say in everything. We are right here in the mix of everything. everybody want to know what we doing. You know what I'm saying? So even like when I named it Kings of DC, just having a movie named DC, people in Africa want to know what's going on. Hold on, that's the capital of the world. So it's like all these little things that you learn, little intricate ways of how to get little more views here, this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? So yeah.
How do you, with it being a competitive industry, like you said, how do you keep yourself like, motivated through like, low times, hard times?
Um, I'm like a brother to my team. So like when it gets slow, and we go do stuff like right now we're on the downtime of putting a movie together. It's like a lot of moving parts and things of that nature. So it's not that fun, and we're not really together as much. And if we're not together, right, it could slow down a lot more because we not motivating each other. So what I did is I get everybody to come play basketball on Sundays, so that we still have that camaraderie. I know I just jacked that word up, right? But where we come together on Sundays and that brotherhood is still there and that love still there, and then we can ask each other, well, where you at with the sound? Where you at? You know, and everybody, all right, well, all right, when you think you'll have that done? Thursday, and then we hold each other accountable. So it's like having little things to do outside of directly working helps keep everything together. Cause like it's very easy to get distracted, especially when um, we still in in a small space trying to you know be in a bigger space.
So, you talked a little bit about what you had planned after, the New Balance Boys.
Mm.
Are there any like type of genres or any type of like, specific stories? And you talked about the Marion Barry biopic, but are there any other like stories that you kind of want to like explore and cover in film?
Man, DC got some of the most talented people that came out. I got a love story that I'm working on. It's called Black Honey. Um, and I got the, I got, I got this dope movie I want to talk about right now, but it's called The Blackout. And then I want to do if I'm allowed to, the Marvin Gaye story. And I was thinking about calling it Marvelous. We got a lot of historical people here, and if we don't throw the ladder back, who gonna throw the ladder back? Who gonna teach the young dudes or the young people here, right? That we really them people, like we really them. You know what I'm saying? Like if I can't persuade you that like I'm really that person, and you is my brother, so guess what? You really that person too. Like we don't need all like I tell everybody, I like look, we don't need nobody outside of the DMV. So when we write these movies, we writing it for the DMV. If Maryland, DC, and Virginia love this movie, we're gonna have the height of success. You know how many people that is? It's gonna volcano out to other places. So let's just stay focused on what we doing and make our people love what we doing. Let's inspire our people. Let's create some competition. Like I would like to see some young people come out and make a movie. I'm like, ooh, oh, okay, we're gonna step it up next time. And it's not a hate thing, it's love. It's all love. Like I'm coming to your premiere. I'm buying a ticket. I'm there. I'm supporting. Yeah, but I'm on you. I'm on you. Don't get it twisted. Friendly competition. Like we push each other to be great, not hate. You know what I'm saying?
How do you want to be remembered as a filmmaker? Like, what type of legacy do you want to leave?
I want a street. I want a street. I want a street with my name on it. And if I don't get it, it's cool. But that's like a priceless point for me because, like I said, I came in this world and I was very destructive for a long period of time. And to be in a place where I can help in a way that I can help, I already won. Like can't nobody. I don't need nobody. pat on the back. I already won. So everything after this is just extra. And my, me having my name on the street ain't out of arrogance. It's to show to everybody around that if I could do it, you could do it. Like my name don't mean nothing unless you say it. I'm not gonna call my own name, right? My name has no meaning unless you say it, right? So make the world say your name the way that I'm trying to get them to say my name, like that.
Talk a little bit about your support system and like your inner circle, like especially supporting you and your career in film. How have they been throughout your journey?
Um, well, I got the most beautiful woman in the world, and she is super supportive. Um, she not gonna let me fail. She gonna put her foot in my butt if I fail. Like she real super serious, pretty, but super serious. And I'm thankful to God for her. And I have like all family members and very close knit people around me that um, I I have I have this slogan that's really real to me. I never lose, and I'm not saying that man trying to be fly. I don't. I never lose because I never quit. Like I never lose in life. I never lose. Anything I ever wanted, I always got. Like it's never been something that I didn't get that I wanted. Not one time. Like I can't, and I can't say that I ever wanted something that I did. I really can't say it. Right. So I don't know how to lose. So everything I do is I'm trying to teach people how to win. Like, you know, um, I told my son, like, I'm gonna teach you how to walk. You know what I'm saying? You gotta teach yourself how to crawl. I don't know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I carry with me and everybody around. I have the people that support me is a very close knit group of what I would call brothers, or even they my cousins. So one way or another, we family. And then, like I said, I got the most beautiful woman in the world. So, like, and I don't need no new friends. You know what I'm saying? I'm not accepting applications on new friends. So, we gonna make it do what it do.
And my last two questions, how do you want to end 2024, and what do you want to do in 2025?
I don't really look at dates and stuff like that. It's like it's not no end to what I do. Like it's no period. It's more like a comma. Um, I'm trying to finish this movie that I'm writing. So as soon as I finish and drop New Balance Boys, shout out to Vic Ross, who's he's super looked out. Bun B and Boosie. Um, and I can keep the ball rolling because I'm trying to apply pressure. I'm not hearing the crowds roar. I'm not hearing none of that. I'm going right back in the lab. Like um, the day after the Super Bowl, we back in the gym. Like, we ain't going to Disney World. We back in the gym. We trying to get back to the Super Bowl next year. Ain't no off days. So like, I'm just working, just grinding.
And lastly, is there anything that you want to say, to all the people that supported you and been rocking with you, throughout your entire, run?
I just want to thank God first and foremost that allowed me to still be here. And I just want to, of course, let everybody know I appreciate them for whatever they do. I wouldn't be able to start naming because there's just too many people. But everybody know that I love them, and that's what I preach, and that's what I'm on, and that's that's what powers this machine. Love for myself, for my God, for my people, for my woman, for my children, and you know what I'm saying. I just love everybody. I don't love everybody, but I love y'all. You feel me? And I definitely appreciate everything. We gonna keep on going. You know what I mean? Um, they say big wheels don't stop rolling. You can't stop a big wheel from rolling. So we just gonna keep moving like the wheels on the tank.
All right, World War Polo. Appreciate you for coming through, man.
I
Thank you.
appreciate you too, bro.